Welcome to Connectronix. I'm Steve, and Connectronix does custom audio video. However, today we're not going to talk about anything that's audio or video related. But as a custom integrator, this is still something that we provide for our customers. Can you guess what it is? I'll give you a couple of clues. It's very important. You already have it in your house, and you use it every day. Can you guess? Like I said, it's important. It's extremely important to some people. Like, if you didn't have it, like some people would probably like freak out. What the? What happened? I can't see. Mom! Mom! I can't see! Mom! I can't see! Oh. Yeah, so anyway, did you guess what it is? It's lighting. And today we're going to talk about lighting by DMF. And DMF lighting is very cool. And like I said, lighting is important. Especially like, you know, if you're afraid of the dark or something, you know. Not that I am, you know, but some people might be. It's just ridiculous. But like I said, you use it every day. So stick around and we're going to talk about some awesome lighting today. What? Never mind, Mom! Welcome back. And today I have a couple of sample cases from DMF, which is their different styles of lighting. And we're going to talk about what's in this one specifically today because this is the one that we use most often. And this one is a replacement, as I shown here, for the standard in-ceiling can light. They make replacement, or I should say retrofittable, so if you already had light bulbs in yours, these can be upgraded to the DMF, which is all LED lighting. And there's a lot to talk about here, but I'm going to give you kind of a quick overview of all the different stuff so you have an idea of what it is. And then I actually have a job where I'm showing me replacing a couple of these lights so you have an idea of what it was before, what it's like actually putting the lights in, and then how they look afterwards. With the lighting in this style, to replace a standard can light or pot light in the ceiling, I don't know why they call them pot lights, we call them can lights around here. But anyway, the standard can light, where if you were to go to Home Depot or Lowe's or something like that, not knocking them because I buy stuff from them, but when you go there and you want to replace and do some newer LEDs, you don't always have different color temperatures to choose from or different light outputs. You don't have a lot of options. With the DMF lighting, it's all customizable. Other than how well they're built and how good the quality is all the different options you have. So to break it down, simply you have 5 different things to consider. What style light you have, if it's a DID2, which is a flat, or a DID4, which is the pivoting one. So you pick that light. Then you pick how bright do you want it. You pick what color temperature you want. Then you pick what type of beam spot you want. Do you want it to have a spot or a flood? And then what type of housing or flange that you want on the outside. Pick those 5 things and then you have your light. So that's as simple as I can get. So quickly to go over those 5 different things, like I said, you have 2 different lights, a DID2, which is flat, or a DID4, which is the pivoting. It will swivel 360 degrees, as well as actually pivot 45 degrees. So you can pivot to point at a wall or whatever. And I can actually show you how that one works. And so it's just a matter of plugging this in, and then you can see that this light, now you can pivot, or you can actually swivel it 360. So once you figure out, hey, do I need a spotlight that's going to be right over a kitchen island that's flat, or do I want to put some lights in the case that I'm going to show you later is over a fireplace pointing at the picture, so, which is very common. You want to have lights that point somewhere. This is the style that we used. Then you say, how bright do I want it? So the DID2s, 750 lumens, 1000 lumens, or 1250 lumens. The DID4, as you see it, is a little bit smaller, and it'll do 750 lumens or 1000 lumens. Third part would be your color temperature. So the color temperature of this is a warm dim, whereas this is going to be a 3000. So this one, even on its dimmest mode, it's going to have the same color temperature as when it's as bright as it goes, which is pretty darn bright actually. So I don't want to shine it at the camera, but you can see how bright that is, and that's going to be at 3000. And as it dims down, nice and smooth all the way out, 3000. And then if I take this one, this is considered a warm dim. This one, again, at full brightness, is 3000. But what happens is as it dims, let's see if it picks it up, it's going to go amber. So at its lowest setting, it's kind of an orange color, more almost closer to what candlelight is. So if you're in the kitchen and it's bright, you want to, hey, I'm cooking, you got your full 3000, so it's a cooler color, but it's brighter. And then at night you come and, hey, I'm relaxing, let's go watch some TV, and you just need a little light in the kitchen for some ambiance, right? Now it's a little warmer and relaxing, so it's more of like candlelight. Talking with the guys at DMF, they said the warm dim is their most popular light. Not by a little, but by a lot. So they sell a lot of these warm dims, more than any of the other lights. Now you pick what type of beam do you want. And so for example, their narrow spot is a 15 degree, which is pretty small, 25 degree, 40 degree, 60 degree, all the way to a 90 degree flood. And so this one is a flood. So this light specifically, those three things we picked was we wanted a flat light, warm dim, 1000 lumens. Now it's got a flood lens on it. The last part we pick is what kind of flange do you want. This is a 5-inch standard white flange. Maybe we have a 4-inch can light. We can put this into a 4. As simple as that. And you're picking what type of flange you want. This one's got silver on the inside. This one here is a black one, right? So you can pick that. So that's how you would design your light specifically for what it is you want. And that's what those 5 things are with this one. The 5 things for the DID4, this is almost exactly what I put in the job that I'll show you later. DID4, which is pivoting, light output, which is 1000 lumens, color temperature of 3000 Kelvin, the 40 degree flood, not the 90 degree. And then the last part we ended up putting on, which was the 6-inch. This is a 5, I don't have a sample of a 6. One last thing you'll notice is this light is black inside a white housing. The ones I'm putting in the job, this part is actually white. So when you look up, you don't see anything. And well, you see white, but I'm saying you don't see anything black sticking out. And the great thing about it is the typical can lights you'll see around the bulb, and there's like, you can see up in there, and things aren't always aligned right, and it just looks horrible. And especially in the one with the job where the part comes down so it can pivot, it does not look as streamlined and as good as what this does. So you'll see a before and after of what that light looks like. Now let's say you're building out and you're going to finish off a basement. Well, what do you do then? Then you can get this. And this gets your housing. And already DMF has a fire rated box. And you don't have to have that great big huge box you typically see. So this is one that they have designed where it can be a flangeless. So if you go in ahead of time, you can pick it where this goes up and this screws to the ceiling. They mud around this, and then this part right here is your flange. And so there's no edge on there. So picture this white part being the ceiling, right? So instead of having this 1/2-inch flange going around the edge, this is a flangeless. And again, they just showed this for color so you can contrast between the white and this. But it is something that is completely customizable as far as what color you want. And even this part here, I thought this was like a plastic piece. DMF says no, we don't want to use plastic. This is metal as well. So that way, they're sure when this goes up in the ceiling, plastic's going to warp and bend based off of how you screw it. This is going to be nice and straight no matter what. So that flangeless flange is going to be flat and not going to have any gaps around it. So that's what's wonderful about how DMF does this stuff. A quick recap of this. Are you going to replace what you already have so it's retrofittable? Then you buy this piece, what light you want, and what housing. And I'll show you that's how we ended up doing the ones over this fireplace. Easy peasy. If you're finishing off a basement or another part of your home and you want to put in new lights, you can put this in. And when you're starting from scratch, obviously you have a lot more choices. And I have a whole nother kit with other lights in it. They're a 2-inch instead of a 4-inch, and those are a lot more customized as far as what they offer, because you're starting from the ground up instead of something that's just like, I'm going to pull a bulb out and swap out. But even with that, I told you there's so many options. One of the great things about the DMF lighting is the quality of them. The guys at DMF were telling me that their LEDs that they use is a Cree LED. Cree is pretty standard. I'm sure you've seen them at like Home Depot or whatnot. But what they're telling me is the Cree LEDs, when you have a light from like Home Depot and it burns out and doesn't work anymore, it's usually not the LED that goes bad, but the driver that controls that light. And with DMF, they designed all of their own drivers to work specifically with the Cree LEDs to be able to get that full motion of dim all the way from 100% all the way down to 1%, as well as the lights that do the warm dim. So because of that and their control of that driver, that's why they're able to make the lights last so much longer. The other thing is their bodies that they make are all aluminum with the built-in heat sinks, and then all the trim rings are extruded aluminum, not the typical plastic ones that you'll see that will discolor over time or that may crack or whatever. Typically your can light's up there and it never sits right or whatever. So as you could see, the end result is just awesome on that. And how easy it was to take the old lights out and put in the new ones. It was simple as these three things of just screwing this part in, attaching a DID4, to the, in this case, a 6-inch housing, and putting it all together and putting it right up in the ceiling, pivoting it however he wanted. And that light too is set on a Lutron dimmer, so they have the Lutron Caseta dimmers in there, and that's why you're able to see those lights go up and down. But the great thing between the before and after, like I said, with that light hitting that ceiling, it's not there on these new ones, and there's nothing sticking out. So even with it pivoted all the way, there's nothing below the surface of the ceiling, so it's a nice clean look. This is an overview of the DMF lighting. Hopefully it wasn't too long-winded, but you got a better idea of what this lighting is all about and what's involved. And even being able to see it getting put in on the job, what the before and after was like, how much nicer the after is, nothing, you know, protruding from the ceiling, a nice sleek look, everything's cleaner, and also how well that light is and gets right onto the areas that you want to point, and using the Lutron Caseta dimmer there as well. So, like I said at the beginning of the video, lighting is important. You already have it in your house and you use it every day. So why not have something customized specifically for what you want, that's built of quality, that's going to last, which to me is important, especially if you're afraid of the dark. Not that I am, but I'm just saying, at least you know you won't be in the dark for the next 10 years. Unless, of course, the power goes out, but I don't have any control over that. So anyway, thanks for watching, and until the next one, I'll leave the light on for you.